My oh my, has it ever been too long. It is good to be back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Conner Rowntree. We're here on Sports Tree with Third and Long to break down every single game in week one of the NFL, except for Monday Night Football, because we'll break that down for you on Monday. But we have Friday Night Football in Brazil for the first time. I believe it's the first regular season game to be played on a Friday since 1970. You can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to jump right into this. The format of the show, we're going to run through every single game, preview every single game for you, and give you some tidbits. Maybe throw in a bet that our betting model really likes. If you head over to sportstree.ca right now, you can check out our week one pick package. It's all there with every single game broken down with the betting model, with best bets, with props, over-unders, money line bets, underdog bets, everything you need to make some money and have some fun this weekend. But let's jump into it with the Packers and the Eagles. And we have to start this off by saying Jordan Love might just be him. He was stellar last season, throwing 32 touchdown passes, and there's a good chance that he'll throw a couple more tonight. Now, I have to give credit for this prop bet. This is my favorite prop bet of the day. Our model has it hitting at 82.5% of the time. That is an insanely high score for our betting model system. And I have to give a shout out to our producer, Grady Sass, for putting this one on my radar. Jordan Love for over 1.5 touchdown passes at dash 170. You have to love this value. I know it's dash 170, so you're paying a little bit of that juice. But Love has had multiple touchdown passes in 4 consecutive games to close out the regular season last year. And then he had multiple touchdown passes in both playoff games. That's 6 straight games with at least 2 touchdown passes, and now he takes on an Eagles secondary that was second worst. They gave up the second most passing yards in the league last season. I love to air the ball out. I think he's going to be able to get the ball to guys like Christian Watson. Our model has him going up over his line in 73.8% of the time tonight. That line at 40.5 yards. So we like the Packers to spread the ball around, and we think this could be a high-scoring game. We're leaning towards the over in this one down in Brazil. One thing to be cognizant of is that these foreign games rarely go over, whether it's traveling, whether it's teams getting sick. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the spicy food down in Brazil this time. I don't know. It could be humidity. I think that's actually probably a valid point. End of summer evening in Brazil. It's probably going to be hot and humid, and those offenses could start cramping up. Those explosive players could start cramping up late, and that could trend towards the under. So we're leaning the over, but you heard our 2 prop bets. If you want more bets for this game, head over to sportstree.ca and get your hands on that pick package. Now, our game of the week. Titans visiting the Chicago Bears. We're going to be down there. Sports Tree, we're heading down there tomorrow morning. We're heading down there Saturday morning, and we're gonna talk. We're going to walk around Chicago, try to talk to some fans and get everyone's opinion on Caleb Williams. Is this guy for real? Well, I don't think it's going to matter too much in week one, right? There is that stat out there that since 1970, that starting quarterbacks, that first overall pick starting quarterbacks that start as a rookie are 4-21-1. Since 2003, they're 0-14-1. Those debutante performances have not been great in the past. However, Caleb Williams is the first ever quarterback that's going to have 2 wide receivers that went over 1,200 yards in the previous season. No other rookie starter has ever had that. So when you look at the stats and the history, you can understand why people aren't so high on Caleb Williams in this first game. But if you actually look at the present situation that the Bears have put him in, they've surrounded him with opportunities to succeed. Guys like Keenan Allen, guys like Roma Dunze, taking him with the 9th pick in the draft. And of course, you have DJ Moore, who's still there. Cole Kmet as a touchdown and underneath guy. And you have DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield who can catch balls. I think Caleb Williams is in a perfect scenario to succeed with this Bears team. And let's not forget, from week 10 to 18 last season, the Bears surrendered 17.1 points per game on defense. That's the best mark in the NFL. Montez Sweat came in. He fixed up this team. I love their secondary. I think that the linebacking core is extremely underrated, and I like the Bears to win this game at home. I'm going to actually play it on the money line to be a little bit safer. Dash 180. Give me that. Put 1.8 units on it. We're going to bet on the Bears. We're going to be there. And then also the under should have some value as well. As I said, the Bears have a great defense. The Titans have an underrated secondary and 2 quarterbacks that you can't really trust Caleb Williams just yet because we haven't seen anything, and Will Levis just turns the ball over and eats mayo. You simply can't trust a guy that puts mayo in his coffee and eats banana with a peel. So let's take the Chicago Bears at dash 1.8. We have to touch on this game. The New England Patriots, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are your survivor pick. The model has them winning over 72.5% of the time. They should win this football game. The one worry is that if New England can somehow get a lead, hand it off to Ramondre Stevenson, and they can run the ball. The Bengals weren't that great at stuffing the run last season. However, Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, and the boys, Jamar Chase, I know there's the contract disputes, but he's probably going to play. That's what I'm hearing, at least before recording this. T. Higgins, he's back in action. I think this offense is just going to be too much for this New England Patriots defense, and the New England Patriots offense is terrible. They're absolutely horrible. So unless they can run the ball, they're going to get pulverized. I even think the Bengals you could probably lay the 9 points with the Bengals and feel quite comfortable about that. Pittsburgh Steelers and Atlanta Falcons, the battle of QBs drafted back in 2012. Kurt Russell or Russell Wilson. Kirk Cousins. Kurt Russell's a great actor, by the way. Tombstone, gunslinger, just like Kirk Cousins is. And Russell Wilson needs to stop praying and start playing. The problem is I don't trust either of these quarterbacks. We're leaning towards the under on this one. Probably a 1.1 unit play to make a unit. If you want to get the betting model analysis for this one, head over to sportstree.ca, but the under should be looking pretty good. If you're coming off a torn Achilles like Kirk Cousins is, the last thing the doctor ordered is to have TJ Watt barreling down at you for 60 minutes of football. On the other side, Russell Wilson, I don't trust him at all. I think Justin Fields will probably be the starting quarterback of this team come week 5. And a fun little statistical nugget for you. The under has cashed in 7 out of Atlanta's 8 previous matchups against AFC opponents. So look towards that under. New York Giants versus Minnesota Vikings. No thank you. Too many questions. I don't like either starting quarterback. I could see the under. I could see the over. There's just too many questions in this game. Too many people trying to sound smart on social media. Save your money. Walk away. Jacksonville Jaguars and Miami Dolphins. Now, I like this game a lot. I think this game's going to have a ton of points. Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars last season before Trevor Lawrence got hurt. They were solid. Miami, they were 1-7 against playoff teams, so I think they were a little overinflated. But one thing is for sure, these offenses can fire. That total is super high, so we're going to run the model, head over to SportsTree, and see what it says. But look for some scoring props and some high-scoring props in that one. Houston, Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. Could be another high-scoring game. I think it's very hard to trust Anthony Richardson coming off his first start since the injury, first start in almost a year. But one thing that I do trust is Anthony Richardson feeding the ball to Michael Pittman Jr. He averaged 6.8 receptions in 2023, and when Richardson was healthy in the first 2 weeks, Pittman caught 16 passes in 2 games. He also had double-digit targets 9 times in 2023. He's the leader of this receiving core. I like him to go up over his receiving line of 5.5 receptions. Arizona Cardinals and Buffalo Bills, and this is another stay-away spot for me. I'm seeing a lot of sharps on Arizona taking those points, taking the 6.5, 7 points, and riding with it. Josh Allen, we don't know who he's going to throw to. We don't know what the rookies look like on this team yet. I need to see them in a full game before I can say, hey, this is a lock for an over. Hey, the Bills, they should look like dash 290 on the money line. This isn't Madden, so I can't trust Kyler Murray going on the road and beating the Bills in Buffalo. This is a stay-away spot if I've ever seen one. The Carolina Panthers take on the New Orleans Saints, and I think everyone's being a little too hard on Carolina. If you're giving me 4 points with the Panthers, that could be worth a look. Go check out sportstree.ca. Check out the pick package for the entire breakdown. But I'm telling you, there is value to be had on the Carolina Panthers with 4 points. I know they're going into New Orleans. I have a lot of questions about Derek Carr. I think this Panthers defense got much better in the offseason. I think they added weapons for Bryce Young to succeed on the offensive side of the football. And then again, Derek Carr, he has Spencer Rattler breathing down his neck. And the Dennis Allen-Derek Carr combo just does not work. It really doesn't work. I like Derek Carr. I'm a Derek Carr guy. But I like him more as a human being than a football player, if you know what I mean. I think the value is definitely on the Carolina Panthers. Go check out our pick package to see why. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Denver Broncos, and make sure you go check out the pick package for this one and see what our betting model has to say. It's not as clear-cut as it seems. From the outside looking in, you have a rookie quarterback going in to play the 12th man in Seattle. It should be a butt-kicking. However, food for thought, don't count Sean Payton out as an underdog, and Bo Nix has looked quite good. The problem is going to be, though, Mike McDonald, the Ravens defensive coordinator, is taking over in Seattle, and I think that defense is going to be mean, and I think they could pulverize Bo Nix. So it's really going to be one of those games. who gets off to the better start, who can implement their game plan. Head over to sportstree.ca and check out who we like to do just that. Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Chargers. And remember, it used to be the Los Angeles Raiders. Lots of Raider fans still hanging around in LA. I think they could outnumber the Charger fans, to be honest with you. So don't expect home field advantage to play that crucial role in this one. What I do think will play a crucial role is defense. The Las Vegas Raiders are no slouch on defense. They ranked 7th in points allowed per game in 2023, and Jim Harbaugh, we know what his defenses can do. He had a top 10 ranked defense in all 4 years that he was in San Francisco, and I think these teams are just going to go to an absolute slugfest against each other. There's just too many question marks, so the lean is definitely to the under, although it's only at 40 points. Washington Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Avoid this. Don't even watch this game. Maybe if you want to see Jaden Daniels do a couple of miracle plays. That's what Sports Center's for. That's what NFL Red Zone is for. Baker Mayfield, he had a resurgence here last year, but the offensive coordinator that held his hand through that is gone. I think we could see Baker fall back into his old self. I'm not laying the points with Baker Mayfield, and I'm not taking the points with a rookie quarterback going on the road. So this is a stay away spot. And then we get into Sunday Night Football. And instead of breaking down the game here, I have a prop bet that I absolutely love. I actually have a pair of prop bets that I'll share with you guys for Sunday Night Football. It's round 3 between Stafford and Jared Goff, Rams and Lions. We saw what happened in the playoffs last year. It was a hell of a game. But one thing I want to note, this should be a high-scoring game. There were only 8 games last year where Stafford, Kupp, Nakua, Kyren Williams all suited up together on offense. Yeah, the Rams were 6-2 in those games, and Stafford threw 18 touchdowns to just 3 picks. We all know how elite that offense is in Detroit. I think they sharpened up the defense as well. It could be tough scoring, but I think it should be high scoring. And the one guy that I think y'all must have forgot is Cooper Kupp. Well, he was banged up in 2023. Down the stretch, in his final 5 games, he averaged 8.8 targets per game. And not to mention the fact he had at least 6 receptions in 4 out of those 5 contests. Over 5.5 receptions for Cooper Kupp. I love that prop. And I also love Cooper Kupp to hit pay dirt at plus 130. I think the value's there. He remains Matthew Stafford's favorite red zone target. Believe it or not, I know you're all going to be like, Puka. Well, Puka Nakua only had 16 red zone targets and played 5 more games, while Cooper Kupp had 18 and played 5 less games. Coincidence? I think not. He had 4 touchdown receptions in the final 5 games of the regular season in which he played. Plus 130, Cooper Kupp, lock it in. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I'm heading down to Chicago. We're going to get some great content for you throughout the weekend, so stay tuned to our social media. Make sure you head over and check out our other pick package on sportstree.ca right now. Season-long bets. We have 7 season-long bets, one of them up at plus 270 with over a 70% win probability. That is insane. That is value if I've ever heard it. Make sure you head over to sportstree.ca and check it out now. I'm Conner Rowntree. Enjoy the football.